Hey yo, Johnny Kane here of the Johnny Kane, formerly West Uptown podcast, a podcast that has limited viewership, if you will. So to get in on it now, all right, put you at the table with the cool kids. I'm telling you, people, it's great for your whole mystique. You know, if you like being a cool motherfucker like some of us do. I wanted to get into relationships at a later stage in life. You know, really pretty much, I would say when you get past 30, and of course it continues to extrapolate as you get into being past 40, being past 50, and so forth. You know, when you get to this advanced or advancing stage of your life and you're trying to reformulate a new relationship with a potential significant other, if that's, you know, what you're trying to do, or at least approaching it in such a way where it's okay. I've always been the cat that will, if I'm going to approach a relationship, you know, the goal long term should be for that person to become your concubine, get married, and all of that kind of a thing. Doesn't mean that that's how it will turn out. More often than not, it does not turn out like that. But I think if you go into it with that, my personal opinion is that if you go into it with that ambition, so to speak, then, you know, there's a little bit better of a karmic feeling about it. So that's kind of how I've always gone into it. Not that I don't like, you know, getting down, but I've never really been much of a one night stand guy. It's very, very, very rarely in my life has it happened. And so, you know, and that's not always up, you know, to the man. You know, in my case, the woman initiates it and allows, you know, for that to happen. But that's another story entirely. What we're talking about is getting on to a certain stage in life when your original relationship from the time you were very young, maybe in high school perhaps, high school sweetheart type thing, did not work out. And so now you're quote unquote back out into the mix again, as they say, looking around for that, you know, significant other, you know. And so you go through this process where, oh, you know, I'm going to raise my standards. I'm not going to go out like I did last time. And then it becomes kind of a sliding scale where you also say, well, I may have harped on this person too much for some things that penalized them too hard. And I realized that it is germane, you know, this type of behavior is in so many ways germane to men and germane to women, you know, where you're going to have these super high standards. And as I said, it's met with this sliding scale. And you understand, moreover, that people are human. I think a trap that we fall into, all right, is, again, of the sliding scale nature. And that being that, you know, some of us judge too quickly based on what we perceive as X amount of baggage. And if it's, you know, like, if it's, you know, murderous baggage, you know, or larcenous baggage, or, you know, sex crime baggage, you know, then that's would definitely be considered heavy enough baggage to say, all right, okay, not, you know, and not that everybody's going to reveal that to you right away, but I think it's fair to just anticipate X amount of it in your search, because when you get to a certain age, to think that, you know, or expect, even worse, that a potential concubine, partner, wife, husband is not, you know, going to be devoid of baggage. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not going to have any baggage. or is going to be devoid of baggage, and you think you can find that person, good luck. Them motherfuckers are taken. Point blank. Okay? So just know that a person's going to have X amount of baggage. Again, I'm not saying to lower your standards to the point of getting mixed up with someone to where it's just too much, but you need to know and realize that we all have X amount of it, and if someone expresses a desire and you are physically attracted to them and seem to connect with them chemistry-wise, for you to at least entertain the process of viewing them and their baggage and all their warts, all right? And seeing if they are a good enough person, or if the issues themselves can be overcome. At least entertain that via communication, all right? Gotta stop ghosting each other, people, on both sides, okay? We should have more in-depth conversations as to why, especially when you're at an advanced age and you're trying to pick up the pace on things. In terms of, look, I'm too old to be hiding this shit. I was at a club. Me and my boys were smoking Sherm. We thought it'd be a good idea to whip out our dicks on these girls in the parking lot. Just gotta say hello that way. Not only ill-advised, but illegal. Okay? And that's why I'd like to walk back. I'd like to, I'd like to take it back. There's no walking it back. And look, they were big girls. Not that they were, I'm not saying they were a bunch of hippos. But they were grown-up girls, and they laughed. And it could have been for the audacity of it. It could have been for, what some of the crew was packing. But again, this is the kind of wild shit that happens, okay? That, hey, it's going to be kind of crazy, and it's going to be out there like that. Well, it's not cool. I don't recommend doing that. That shit happened decades ago. All right, I wouldn't do it now. But at the time, it just, I don't know who mentioned it and said, hey, let's show these chicks our dicks. But it just felt so right. It felt so right at the time. It just seemingly, like there was nothing left to do or consider at that point. Like that was, boy, really perfect timing. Whomever suggested it or wanted it to happen had perfect timing, and ultimately it became a consensus because we all wanted it to happen. But again, I no longer expose myself to unsuspecting people, club goers or not, and I no longer smoke Sherman. Both, were a one-time thing. All right, the Sherm thing maybe happened twice, maybe 3 times. But the penis, certainly, that was a one-off, as they say. Again, I'm Johnny Kane. This has been the Johnny Kane podcast. I got the glasses on, to look more intelligent, man. And plus, they're for seeing, too. They help with the whole seeing thing, which is pretty cool to be able to do, man. Especially when you've done it all your life. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed the show. Producer in the background is waving at me and, just want me to keep this thing under 10 minutes. So that's what I'm doing. So I wanted to get those things out, so to speak, kind of whip them out. Whip them out, so to speak. And it was done. Thank you for listening. Remember, if you want to be at the table with the cool kids, man, listen to Johnny Kane. It's the most obscure shit that anyone anywhere could ever come up with at this point.